It's Tech Tips Thursday. What we are changing today is the banjos inside of a UF1 valve from Cornelius. And also, we're going to be swapping out our solenoid. And rather than swapping out the solenoid, I'll just tell you what was wrong with it. So in this case, either some soda got in here or the coil itself got deformed. And it's just a little bit too sticky. And it was causing us to have soda run, like the product itself, run when not engaged. And not like a lot, just like a drip from the actual Mountain Dew itself. So just something to keep an eye on. It doesn't happen often, but coils can fail. And then the banjos themselves can get deformed over time, and they'll kind of like puff up, which will cause you to have issues with water flow or soda flow. So something to watch for. But today we're going to take this apart so you can see how to take it apart and be more confident in how to fully dismantle a UF1 valve. So first, it needs to be removed from the machine. Not necessarily all these repairs need to be done removed from the machine, but it definitely helps to have it on a space you can work. First thing, we are going to remove our diffuser or our nozzle. Next, the bottom plate comes off. The bottom plate holds our actual switch in place, regardless if it's a push button style, which the push button will be right here, that won't be there. Surprise, surprise. But the rules are the same for both. So these two pieces pop off, and there you go. This guy is one of those things that anytime you're servicing a soda machine, it's probably worth rinsing this. You get a little bit of soda caught underneath in this area right here, and these don't function right, and you're gonna have a mess. So always worth washing, cleaning. Good hot water makes a big difference on this stuff. All right, next, the switch itself is going to come off. So that is particularly simple, and these are easy to replace. So what I just took off does not require the valve itself to be removed from the machine. You can do this without removing it. It's a little tight back in the corner between valves, but all of this can be done with it attached on the machine. Once you start getting outside of here, now it's probably worth detaching it from the machine. The next thing I'll usually do is remove our coil. Our coil can be removed with just a little bit of prying action right there. And a little snappy snap, and off it comes. So the next step is getting our banjos out. However, in addition to getting the banjos out, I thought it'd be worth showing how to remove the actual flow control itself. So this is not required to replace the banjos, but it helps to know. We pull this bar out the back, easy peasy. Flow control just pops right out the top. There are 4 O-rings, and I made that look really easy, like that won't happen every time. These 4 O-rings are super important. If they're not in there, you're going to make a giant mess. So make sure you get all of them. They usually get caught down inside here. And then put them right back in place. Otherwise, they will disappear. They're like a 10mm socket. All right. All we have left is the base itself. And I should mention too, there is an O-ring right here. And this is a great opportunity to show you how that O-ring works. You will see it seals up against the actual diffuser or nozzle itself. Super important. This is where if you have any cracks in your diffuser or this O-ring is starting to get compromised, you will end up with people having water end up on their hands. So good thing to pay attention to, especially if you're servicing, doing any PM work in the spring. Totally worth taking a look at these O-rings and these diffusers. All right, next, 5 screws, preferably with a Phillips head screwdriver. So you've loosened your 5 screws. One thing to keep in mind, you have springs right here. They do like to go flying, so just pay attention to where they go, but you should be able to lift straight up. And they do like to go. So that is our banjos. And that is how we get to our banjos. So there you go. If we're gonna put this back together, our banjos go back in, but don't forget about this guy. He actually pulls the banjos forward, so he's pretty important. He sits behind, and then once everybody's in line where they need to be, line him up over the top. And it's just like taking it apart, except for the opposite. So you're thinking to yourself, how do I get my springs back in there? Well, normally I just tried to get them in there or line everything up, but I was watching, this is part of our interview process, and if you take your needle nose and you just flex that back a little bit, ta-da, I'll do that one more time. Like I said, these springs also like to go and fly halfway across the store, so just pay attention because they will go and you will be sad. And just like that, installed. He goes up, flow control goes in, the bar from the back goes in, and you'll know if you don't have it in the right spot because you won't be able to push it. So then you're just going to kind of wiggle your flow control and get it where it needs to go. Theoretically. Just like that, we're in. And then next, you can take your solenoid. He clicks in, and we have our valve, our actual points off to the side, so that we can connect it into our relay off, or our coil off to the side. I wish it was a relay; that'd be a lot easier. Switch, base. Whoops. So, switch just goes in its home. Base comes in from below. Maybe. Wire location doesn't matter because it's a coil. So it just needs to be activated. It doesn't matter if you switch these two around. The key thing is that the switch is in place and that it functions when you push that. And that, my friends, is how you take apart and put back together a UF1 valve from Cornelius. Same rules apply for the push button. You won't just have the pushy lever on the bottom. You'll have a push button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.